Hey everybody, how are we doing? Um, I am bummed that spring break is over. I was having a really good time just doing whatever I wanted to do, and I'm sure you're feeling the same way. But it's the last quarter of the year, and we're going to make the best of it. We're going to do amazing things, and we're going to put this year behind us. And it's going to feel good because I think what I heard about on the news was like at the beginning of May they're going to start to ease some of the restrictions, some of the lockdown restrictions, and Lord knows what that means. But it's going to be really nice for me to be able to go out and walk my dog and do some things like that. And I think for a lot of us it'll feel like we're getting some of our freedoms back a little bit at a time. Hopefully, let's keep our fingers crossed. So this little screencast here is really all about some changes in the mechanics of our class. And I also want to pat you on the back and tell you what you've been doing super, super well because that was a pretty rough month. It was actually more than a month, wasn't it, before we went on spring break? And you guys have done such a great job. Um, I'm very impressed. All right. So please take all the stuff that I'm saying right now to you and understand that I'm so proud of you. All right. Um, this these little changes or these little things that I'm trying to reiterate, they're just to make things run a little smoother, hopefully, not to change things up and make things difficult for you. The first thing that I want to talk to you about is your assignments. We're going to start again with assignment letter A. You probably noticed that from looking down below, right? We're going to start off and hopefully we'll be able to squeeze all of our assignments in this alphabet. We won't have to go with some different alphabet. But you were fantastic about labeling your assignments with the letter last quarter. And I want to give you a big virtual pat on the back and say, keep on doing it. You know that there are some confusing assignments out there. If we didn't label them with letters, then there would be like, numbers 1 and 2 on some page or a guided reading. There's like more than one guided reading that we did last quarter, right? So when you label your homework, when you label your activities, your work with that letter, it just makes things so super clear for me. And it also helps you keep track of what it is that you're turning in as well. All right, so keep on labeling your work with the letters. Our grading system is going to change a little bit. We still have, A, B's, C's, D's, E's, and F's, and G's, and all those other letter grades. Um, I'm joking, right? There's no letter G. Okay. So we're still using the letter grades, but we're going to be using something called total points logic to kind of weight things. Homework assignments are typically like 5 to 10 points. Um, uh, like a quiz might be 20 to 50 points. A test would be 100 points. The reason why we're doing this, we're switching over to total points logic, is because there was some question about how things were being graded last quarter. There were no serious issues or anything like that, but I thought that if I were to switch over to total points logic grading system, it would be super transparent for you guys, and it wouldn't feel as if uh, grades were skewed. If you want to talk some more about it, I'd be glad to. In essence, it wasn't a big deal last quarter because we had so many grades in the grade book. But if we're using categories like we used to use, then one particular grade, like if we only took one test during the entire quarter, that one test grade would count as like 25 to 30% of your grade for the quarter. Um, so that one grade could really skew you, especially if you missed it or if you didn't do it. So total points logic is a little more forgiving in that regard. I encourage you to Google it and educate yourself. Okay, total points logic. The next thing I want to talk to you about is using your scheduled time for this class to do the work for this class. So in essence, what I'm telling you is that on an average week, you have about 200 minutes of FaceTime with me. I mean, if you think, you can do the math, right? You've got 80 minutes on the first day I see you during the week, and then there's 80 minutes the second day I see you during the week, and then another 40 at the end. And so 80 plus 80 plus 40 equals 200 minutes. I am going to do my darndest to give you only 200 minutes or less of work every week so that you can get things done. You can get everything that you need to get done from my class done during the time period for my class. All right. I don't want you to have anything that goes past the end of the regular school day, anything that would be like homework during the regular school year. All right. I'm doing that for you guys because I know that for a lot of us, separating our work time from our off work time can be difficult. So I have the same problem, right? So there you go. And please keep up. This is the last thing I want to tell you about. I need you to keep up with your work. All right. I do not want you working on anything that's more than 2 weeks old. In fact, I'm going to cut you off. That means that in 3 weeks, the work that you have in front of you can't be done and turned in late. I think 2 weeks is plenty of time, just in case you need to massage your schedule. You might need to take something off of your plate from today for Mr. Notstein's class and move it a little bit later. You might even need to move it till next Monday or Tuesday. But I don't want you to move it so far that it gets to be that irrelevant material that you did a long, long time ago. I'm doing this for several different reasons. Number one, if it's work that's more than 2 weeks old, then it's probably irrelevant to what you're getting ready to assess on right now. All right, so I don't want you doing irrelevant work. I want you to stay in the here and now. The other reason is for my sanity. I was finding myself doing or grading work that was over a month old just last Friday and putting it into the grade book. It really didn't do any good for the student because we had already assessed on that material. And I'm sure there's other things that student would rather be doing, like enjoying their spring break. So how about that? We're going to say 2 weeks is going to be our cutoff. Work over 2 weeks old won't be available to make up. All right. Okay, so I hope that you had a wonderful spring break, as wonderful as it could be in your house. All right. I'm rooting for you guys. I want you to do super, super well this quarter. Please contact me if you need any help. I got a few calls at the end of last quarter, just touching base with students, and it was nice hearing your voice again, seeing your faces on Google Meet and stuff. So please reach out to me if you need me. I am here to help you out. I do not want you thinking of me as an obstacle towards your grades. I want you to think of me as a resource for learning more about history and government. All right. So, adios, amigos.